His coup failed, but the next one might succeed. The danger to the country of not impeaching, removing, and disqualifying someone who is a deadly threat to our constitutional system is an existential danger. There is very broad agreement across the ideological spectrum that the text of the Constitution, its structure, its history, and most important, the fundamental protective purpose of the impeachment power would be frustrated if there were a loophole in the Constitution. If you couldn't get the trial done, then the president would be scot-free. He couldn't be disqualified because he would have run out the clock. His coup failed, but the next one might succeed, and this one would only be a trial run if we decide to accept this bizarre view that the power to impeach evaporates simply because the president has run out the clock. So that precedent might mean the end of our democracy. That's why this is the most important thing that's ever happened in the Senate, and why those senators who want to hide behind a technical legal argument that isn't even correct legally are betraying the Constitution and their oath to uphold it. There's a famous case of a Secretary of War, William Belknap, in 1876, who saw that he was going to be impeached, and he decided to head them off at the pass by resigning. They went ahead in the House and impeached him anyway. The Senate tried him, didn't convict him, but by a vote of 37 to 29, they voted that they had jurisdiction to try him. There is no First Amendment defense here for several reasons. First of all, the First Amendment is a protection for citizens designed to enable them to criticize the government, to attack the government. It's not a protection for the head of the government. In any event, any citizen who doesn't just advocate in an abstract way the desirability of sacking the Capitol, hanging the vice president, assassinating the speaker, but incites all of that, has gone beyond the protection of the First Amendment in any sense of the term. In this case, the president was basically up to his ears in fomenting this insurrection and watching it occur in real time, doing absolutely nothing but cheering them on as it happened. That is not free speech. It's much more than just yelling fire in a crowded theater. It's setting a fire in a crowded theater and then cheering as the fire blazes on. First Amendment is not a suicide pact. It's not designed to protect insurrection or rebellion or treason against the United States. The very case that some of his defenders cite, Brandenburg versus Ohio in 1969, said that incitement to imminent violent action is not protected speech. Open and shut.
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard. And we fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
It's very obvious when he says, go, fight, be strong. Oh, but be peaceful. It's the way mafia bosses talk all the time. You know, a wink and a nod. He's talking out of both sides of his mouth, and everyone knows which side counts. Impeachment is a difficult and painful process for the nation. It can be divisive. Too much impeachment talk is like crying wolf too often. But when the president really shows himself to be an existential danger to the nation, we argued that the danger of not impeaching is even greater than the danger of impeaching. But the Constitution, as a living document, as a tradition, enforced by courts, protected by guardrails of checks and balances, is the one thing we can hold on to in order to lead our lives in a way that is decent and fair and acceptable. Without the Constitution, we have rule by the strong over the weak, of the rich over the poor. There's too much of that even with the Constitution. But the one thing we can hold on to as a source of protection of liberty and justice for all is the Constitution of the United States, for all its flaws. And I think it is worth fighting for.